Hi, everybody. So we've got two online, two in attendance. And yep, and so Joe, who is not on, right, is our chair. So who would like to actually run this thing today? Because I believe Alex is our vice chair and he's not in attendance either. So who would be, did we pick a clerk last time? Because that would be. Yeah, I don't think we actually picked a clerk. So I don't know. We could pick somebody. Would either two of you like to volunteer to go ahead and do a call to order and a roll call and et cetera? Or
If nobody else wants to, I'm happy to. I'm sorry. I assumed it was just a Zoom meeting because I saw the link. Otherwise, I could have been in person. So I apologize for that.
okay. If you'd like to volunteer to do that, you have an agenda?
I do not.
Okay. They were emailed out. So
Let me I looked for one, but I just got home a few minutes ago. So I looked again, but I think that maybe, let's look for it.
yeah. Yeah, they were actually sent out yesterday, so don't know what happened and why people weren't getting them. Maybe we had a snafu with our mail delivery.
The last one I have in my inbox is from May 31st, 2024.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. You could go to our website. They're posted there. Good call, Linda.
Let me just open another tab. Sorry.
It's okay.
PGUSD agenda CBOC. Okay, let's see. That's 2024, 2025.
Matthew's sending it out now.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's not you, Casey. They didn't come.
I'm like, because yesterday I was like reaching out. I'm like, is today the meeting? Is it tomorrow? And then I heard it was today at 4.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, let me.
Well, what I could start out with now what we have is a call to order. So if you'd like to call us to order.
Yep. Let me just refresh my email. Today is Tuesday, 22nd, 4:05 p.m. Meeting start time, call to order. We can do roll call. If everybody would like to go around and introduce themselves, since I can't see a sign-in sheet in front of me to read off of.
Okay, we'll start with Anastasia.
Anastasia Aziz, parent at the Pacific Grove Unified School District with 2 students at the high school.
Gary Miller. John Anderson. And your folks online.
Casey Ventimiglia Alioti. I'm a parent at the high school with 1 alumni student, 1 current junior, and PTA vice president of membership.
Jessica Thompson, parent in the district.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So if anybody'd like to do a motion to adopt the agenda.
I still don't have it.
Can I just ask you a question? Is that a quorum? How many
Um,
members are on this?
technically, yeah.
Yes, we have 4 members,
4.
and because you have 7, total, 4
Okay.
is quorum. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And if we're doing a motion, someone would have to go ahead and say that they are making a motion to approve the agenda. And I hear, Mr. Miller, are you making that motion? It's okay.
I'll second.
Do we have a link to the agenda? Has it been sent?
I am tracking it down as we speak.
I don't think I can consent to an agenda that I can't see.
It should also be posted on the website.
Where at the website? I'm not.
That's the question at hand, but I'll go ahead and put it on the screen so everybody can see it right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's good enough for me if I could see it on the screen. I'm
Okay.
on the district website, but I hadn't tracked down the agenda for this meeting as of yet. Agendas and packets.
Right. Everybody should see it now.
Would anybody like to read the legal statement?
I'll see. a link. See.
Legal statement, there it is.
I can read the legal statement unless someone online wants to.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Members of the audience who wish to address the Citizens Oversight Committee will be called when the item is reached on the agenda or for non-agenda items during the public comments. State law prohibits the Citizens Oversight Committee from taking any action on or discussing items that are not on the posted agenda, except to A, briefly respond to statements made or questions posed by the public in attendance. B, ask questions for clarification. C, provide a reference to a staff member or other resource for factual information in response to the inquiry. Or D, ask a staff member to report back on the matter at the next meeting and or put it on a future agenda. And that is per Government Code Section 54954.2 subsection A.
So I guess at this point, we would be reviewing and approving the minutes from March's meeting. Only it's my understanding that nobody received the minutes.
I have a copy of the meeting minutes here that were available in the conference room. But if we can't vote on them, we can defer it to the next meeting.
What about you online? Did you have
I've-
access?
Jessica sent me the link. I went into the agenda and I printed it out. I can try and print out the meeting minutes right now.
Do we want to,
They're
for,
online. I'm not seeing them.
yeah. Would we like to like skip and come back in the, to give you a chance to review them?
I don't see them listed online.
No, the meeting minutes are online, so we need the meeting minutes to be distributed to us, or we can't,
Okay.
for something we haven't seen.
Okay. She's gonna try to re-email them.
If that doesn't work, I could just drive
Yeah.
down, guys. I literally live
Yeah.
around. So
yeah, maybe,
I don't
maybe,
want to hold up the whole meeting just for that. So
so maybe we should just skip that. Okay, then I guess at this point, we would open to public comment. Starting with the technology, measure A. Nobody in attendance. I guess we move to public comment for measure D, facilities bond. Nobody in attendance. Online. Okay. I guess at this point, we move to my presentations.
there we go.
Right. So hopefully you can see this. It should be shared online and with for the committee members here right now. We're just going to go ahead and you can go ahead and go to the next slide. So what we're talking about is the projects completed last summer. So since our last meeting, everything in green is completed. Items in orange were postponed. Items in yellow are nearing completion. I think probably if you have any questions in the green, I think it's probably important to notice that a lot of those items were completed. And we have on the far right, we have our method of procurement. If there's any questions about procurement, a lot of the CUPCA is what we go out annually and develop a list of qualified bidders. And those,
John, we can't see, we don't have the file up. What you're
Oh.
referring to.
it's not shared. within-
There's another browser open on top of it. So
Oh,
yeah, it's showing like somebody's scrolling through a whole bunch of tabs.
okay. You see it now?
No.
Not yet?
No, we see a whole bunch of unread emails from like district employees in your inbox. Sorry, thank you. Yeah. Perfect.
Now I've got your calendar.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. That should do it.
There you go.
You've found it now. Okay.
There it is.
So again, the items in green, if you look on the far left, it says the percentage of completion. And on the far right, I was discussing how we go about procuring our our public projects. So CUPCA is it's a means for us to basically sign up different contractors locally or otherwise. It's open to all people. We advertise it. It's basically a bidding process to develop a list of bidders for small projects that's $200,000 and less. So if you'll see, we have CUPCA was used to procure and complete several projects last year. It's a way for us to basically get a list of people that are available and not have to go through the full formal bidding project process. Much of the work that we did last year with the ABM group, that was through 4217 process. And that's something that's allowable to school districts to be able to do the energy type projects that we did with the ABM group. That was through a master agreement, and it really helped us accelerate getting a lot of the projects done, which was a lot of heavy lifting, especially at Forest Grove, which was a school that was way behind the curve and now is basically our state-of-the-art school. I think another thing to talk about is the public bidding process. Those again are for projects that we did not have a suitable contractor under CUPCA or was a project over $200,000. Had a very successful bidding process last year and got a wealth of projects done. You can see we actually accomplished a little over $7 million worth of work and really just kind of hit it out of the park last year. To talk about the items in orange, those were postponed. We postponed the roof at Robert Down last year because some of the HVAC work, we were putting in some rooftop units, and we felt it best to have the rooftop units in place before we put the new roof down. And all the way at the bottom, the fire alarm upgrade at Robert Down School, that is has been in process for a couple of years now. We were working mainly on getting a set of plans accepted through Division of State Architects. And actually, we just got the approved plans last Thursday. So those are going out to bid promptly. The other items that were not completed is because we have still scheduled work at the high school where we're going to be upgrading electrical. At the middle school, we're going to be adding a generator. So that's why those two ABM projects are not completed. All the rest are. And far as our evacuation signs go for all the schools, we're about 90% completed with all those. We kind of put the project on a stall because we were adding some AEDs, additional fire extinguishers, and doing some work that needed to be added to the plans before we could actually complete those and get those distributed. But we're right at the finish line. Probably, I would say probably by the first couple of weeks of June, we'll have the remainder of those up. Okay. Any questions on that?
What does ABM stand for?
You know, I don't really know what the ABM stands for, but it's a energy management group. They're pretty much nationwide. I think they're even international.
Oh, so it's a contractor. So I'm just looking
That's
at,
the contractor's name. That's the name of the group, the ABM group.
so I'm just looking at the title, like Forest Grove ABM for $2.3 million. So ABM that,
Yeah, that's just that. What I called it is ABM work because I guess I could have titled it something else, but it's pretty much energy management. So the kind of work that happened at Forest Grove, where we went around and we put a lot of weather stripping in. We also put all new furnaces in the entire campus. We put a couple of new heat pumps in different areas. That's the kind of work that ABM did there. And it's money that is spent on energy management, and it actually ends up in the long run saving us money because we're putting in a 98% efficient furnace and replacing an older 80% efficient furnace that was on its last leg. So very important there.
and then you said that a generator was put in at the middle school.
Is to be put in. That's why we're only 70% complete there. And hopefully that generator, again, the plans are going through the Division of State Architects. Once we have an accepted plan, then it could actually be put in and that would finish the project.
So was a generator also put in at Forest Grove as part of the ABM? Because I know
No,
power outages.
the
have been
generator, we're putting in a
severe.
very small generator at the middle school, and that's mostly going to be put in to power our servers.
Oh.
So that when we have those days when we're without power, you know, and our campus is down, the servers will continue to work, and that way people can attend classes online, etc. Okay.
And then I just have one more question. So there's a line that, or a column says original contract value. So I'm just wondering what the bid estimates were and did they come in under bid, under the estimates or?
Actually, the majority of them came in under bid last year. That's correct. This year, we're not seeing that. The trend is a little different this year. And a lot of the bids, the estimated prices I revised because the original numbers were from, 5 and 6 years ago. And they were just unrealistic. And even now with the cost of things that have accelerated over the last 2 years, even the estimates I've done, we're not quite meeting those. But with that said, I've only had 2 bids come in so far this year, but both of them are slightly over. Last year, we didn't see that. We actually were under on quite a few. So I was able to do a couple value added projects because we had a little bit of savings. Might not see that this year. Okay. Next slide. So we're working on a facilities master plan. This was something we've always needed. We had kind of a general one that I came up with, kind of self-designed, that it was guiding my work until we could get an official one. The board had asked that we do this, and the Assistant Superintendent Jorn found a good company to do this, and it's in process. The MGT group. Right now, I guess the important things for you to understand is that the facilities master plan is a long-term plan for our maintenance and the development of our facilities, and it identifies our priorities. What's really important is that so far I'm finding that I'm in lockstep with what they're suggesting and the work that we're doing here at the school district. At this point, the research has been completed. The community feedback sessions are completed. There's site profiles being drafted. I've seen the first draft of the one for Forest Grove. It's quite complex and very thorough. And I believe the completed plan is due in May, the end of May. So you'll want to keep an eye out for that. We do have a web page added to our site that you could review and find out more about the facilities master plan. Next slide.
Can I just ask another question? So that was the outreach that was done couple months ago, asking about facilities. That was the group from Texas?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, the MGT group. Okay, and so I had brought, I think it was back in December, my second reprioritization of the Measure D projects. I had been, when I came here just about 3 years ago, the plan was actually to do a lot of interior work, and our building envelopes were suffering significantly. So I had made an appeal to the board to reprioritize plans to go after building envelope and HVAC and those kind of important things, because it's really, in my opinion, it's a little senseless to hold a class and put new carpet in a classroom when the roof's leaking. So I wanted to take care of those items first and try to, by doing those type of things first, I was able to, redirect our projects to get our buildings secure before we started working interiors. So I had taken a prioritization plan to the district where I continued to focus on roofs, gutters, wood rot, and exterior painting. I'm now on the second round. I'm actually starting to bring some play structures, swing sets, and play yard resurfacing in. And then I'm also dealing with safety and security, upgrading fire alarms, fencing, electrical upgrades, and we have a couple of buildings that need to go away that we're working on, and that's for safety concerns. Okay, next slide. This is really kind of too small to see, but we will post the presentation online, so you could probably blow that up, take a look at it. But this is the actual plan that I took to the board back in December and was approved. So this summer, I'm probably trying to tackle about 3/4 of this work. I'm being a bit aggressive, but I just want to get as much done as fast as possible. Okay. Again, that's kind of small to read, I agree. So you might want to look at that at a later time.
Do you just want to highlight a couple of the main things at each school?
Actually, that's my next slide. So the next slide and my last slide is about what we're going to try to do this summer. And so summer of 2025, we're looking, as you can see, we're going to do a couple playgrounds and swing set structures at Robert Down and Forest Grove. We actually just got our bids in last week. We got 3 bids in and look pretty good. Excited about bringing new playgrounds to our kids and getting those swings updated. We're finally taking on some much needed restroom repairs at the middle school. We've really come up with some beautiful finishes and new fixtures that are going to make that a much more enjoyable restroom to use. We're continuing with building envelope at Pacific Grove High School, taking on another 2 buildings there. And the Pacific Grove Middle School, the main buildings, building A and B, the roof systems there are getting ready to go. So if we attack them now, we'll get them before they start to leak. We have 1 minor leak there, and hopefully we'll no more in the future. David Avenue, that's where the charter school is. It's been quite neglected. It's got some new roofs, and that's it. So we're going to go ahead and take care of a couple of bathrooms there and start addressing the exterior painting there. And the gutters need to be replaced terribly. A project that's near and dear to me is the security fencing of the one side of the middle school. The fence there now is quite inadequate. People are wanting to see that, and we've come up with a really beautiful fencing solution there that is going to be hard to climb and look very attractive, yet hopefully not feel prison-like whatsoever. And let me see, Robert Down, we're going to go ahead with that roof coating that we delayed last year. The A wing at the high school has a very dated boiler. We're going to try to replace that this summer. And if the money holds out, we're going to try to replace one of the pool boilers that is not doing as well as it could. Building F over at our adult school is a very old building that's in very poor condition. It is, in our opinion, not salvageable. So we're going to take it away to make room for future development. Parking lot resurfacing also at the adult school. It's met the end of its life, and if we resurface it now, we could save some money. If we wait much longer, it'll take a significant amount more money to take care of. We're top coating the floor at the high school that we coated last year, because after some research there, if we were able to just put a top coat on what we did last year, it'll extend it, probably make another 5 years out of that floor for sure. So by spending just a little bit of money, we could make that floor last a bit longer. And we've already got one of our summer projects done, and that is the dance floor screening coating at the high school. It is beautiful, by the way. I went and looked at that yesterday. And then we have one of the older modular buildings at Robert Down we want to take down. And that's the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to ask those. All good. On to the next item.
So just to be clear, you just covered items 8, 9, 10,
And 11.
and 11.
All of them.
So now we're on to number
Yes.
12. All right. If I could just ask in the future, when we get the agenda, if we could have the items attached to the packet, that would be great too. So we just, then I might not have to ask you as many questions.
Okay, that's fine.
Beforehand, yeah. So I think just for those online, we're waiting for item number 12, which is update on ed tech bond project for 25-26.
Okay, let me see if I can get this camera to stay on. Changing status, I'll sit at the table. Why not? Yeah. That makes better sense since I don't have a formal presentation to show, but I did want to share a little bit about what has been going on in the ed tech world. This actually covers also some of the work that Lewis has been doing as a partner of mine in the department. The first thing is, of course, we're updating all the student devices at the high school. They're getting all new Chromebooks and starting in the fall, early fall. We'll have those actually deployed as soon as school gets out this year. We'll be swapping out the older devices for these new ones. We're taking delivery in about 2 weeks to get those units in place so they're ready on day one of the next school year. That is part of a multi-year, multi-phase plan that the board essentially approved in concept at the last meeting, which will carry us out through probably the fall of 2028, where we'll see all school sites being updated with new devices. That includes even the lowest grade levels iPads. The other project we're going to endeavor over the summer, actually starting in early fall, will be website redesign for all school sites as well as the district site. That's going to be basically bringing on new templates, new media, new content as far as visual content for the new websites, so that essentially it's a refresh of the entire web design for the district. All schools will be included in that, including the adult school. The other piece of what we're working on in Measure A is obviously a part of the funding for this is the security camera upgrades that are occurring at all school sites with expanded coverage, as well as the video management system, which is going to be all new software system that will be able to allow us to analyze the video footage much better than our current ability. And that's coming in as well in the fall. And as far as our kind of outlook for the next school year, we will be presenting an updated ed tech plan, 3-year strategic ed tech plan to the board sometime in the middle of next year, which will cover 26 through 29. So that is what we've got going. Happy to answer any questions.
I have a quick question. The Chromebooks and the technology that's rolling out this next year at the high school.
Yeah.
So like for instance, Carmel High, when students start the school year, each student's assigned a Chromebook. And since so many teachers are having the majority of classwork and homework and textbooks all being utilized online, are these Chromebooks that'll be issued out to students and it's theirs for the year, or is this just for them to sit in a classroom?
So our
Or you
model,
take
yeah,
home for class?
yeah. So short answer is that these are going to be on-campus accessible devices, but that doesn't mean that we prohibit students from requesting, those that need a device at home, those that have indicated that they would prefer to have a district device checked out to them. That is always a possibility. It always has been a possibility.
Okay, because
Yeah, go ahead.
part of my conundrum is that it seems like the vast majority of the curriculum instruction and homework submission is all digital, but then the students also have to bring their books back and forth with which they're not really using. And then they start projects at school on a Chromebook, a district issued Chromebook. And then like I've bought my students MacBooks and there's like setting interface issues with some of the G Suite that the district is like the owner of their school accounts, if that makes sense. I've had to hire like IT techs to come to my house and set up their devices so that they, when they click on links and tabs for classwork, that it loads properly or allows them access to see what they need to see to do their homework, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
I know that like a lot of maybe households don't have the same resources to do that. So I was just wondering if this would be like the, issued to the students to bring home, but if they can request to check one out, that's amazing to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. That has always been our longstanding policy. I'm sorry about the camera coming and going. This is something that I think we've been dealing with for a while, but speaking of tech, yeah.
It's been helpful. You've actually helped me in the past. I'm like, I need help. And you
Yeah, absolutely. No, anytime. I mean,
guys have
it's
helped, but yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Part of the approach here, this model, by the way, has been essentially confirmed through multiple surveys that we've given to families over the years that demonstrate that their preference is to basically not take a Chromebook home, or at least indicating that they have adequate technology already.
Yeah.
And that the Chromebook would essentially go unused if it was sent home and assigned to the student.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you. That's good information. We will definitely make note of it. And again, we speak to our site administration regularly about making, always being able to provide a district device to a student in need when the parent requests that.
You guys have, I mean, I like once when we were waiting for hers, we've actually checked one out for like a week. And I knew that, I just didn't know if this like brand new rollout of new devices was intended for how it was, or if something was changing. So
Yeah,
just
Thank
because I think, yeah, I was just wanting clarification. So,
yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
well, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Gary.
How's your ed tech plan developed?
So it takes shape over many months. The primary body of those who actually provide material input is our technology committee. It's a monthly committee that meets throughout the school year, comprised of teachers, admin, tech support, IT specialists from the schools. In some cases, parents have been sitting members of the committee. And so we kind of do a reflection on the previous plan, and we look to see what has been accomplished and what is yet kind of outstanding in it. And then we kind of look at kind of a forward scan of what it is we're kind of contending with coming our way. As you know, technology changes, at breakneck speed. So we anticipate there's going to be a lot of discussions around the use of AI in the new tech plan and how that impacts learning and instruction, and how we can kind of move towards that in a kind of intelligent, safe manner, secure manner, which is the big question on everyone's mind right now. So that's an example of how it takes shape over, like I said, over several months. In some cases, we've actually reached out to organizations, outside organizations like county, other district partners, and we bring those ideas in as well and make them part of our kind of approach to the planning process.
Into the setup or maintenance or repair?
Yeah, we do. A lot of kind of the easy, okay, student Chromebook's missing a key, we'll do that. Or a cracked screen, we can do that in-house, yeah. For like catastrophic, damages, loss causes, it's generally the case that it will be covered by manufacturer over the course of 1 year to 3 years, depending on the purchase plan. And that's kind of how it works. We do have surplus units so that if a student does damage a Chromebook or something accidental happens, it is replaced immediately. There's no wait time for it to either be repaired or replaced. So, yeah.
Matt, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Could you use this bond funding for things that would include, for example, consultants or other resources that would help the district create a safer, more effective overall approach, whether AI or safety, security, privacy, or any other instance, to create a more effective, robust approach to teaching and learning, and how tech tools fit into that? Or is the bond funding only strictly for equipment?
Great question. So we can actually fund training programs, consultants, as long as it's tied to a specific purchase. For example, if we were going to buy a firewall or some kind of filtering software, we would be able to purchase the training and the support and the consultation associated with that software. So in the case of cybersecurity, yeah, we could go down the path. It's likely going to involve software purchase anyway, because that's just how how the environment actually is now controlled. It's controlled like an arms race, if you can kind of think of it. You know, the companies that are in the business of cybersecurity are constantly scanning what's out there and developing and coding up their software accordingly. And so that's kind of the direction we'll probably end up going. We do have a couple of products already obviously on hand to this regard, and we do seek out consultation and training. For example, some of our teachers have gotten some rather effective training on one of the classroom tools they use to prevent, students from wandering in places online that they shouldn't be, inappropriate sites and so forth.
So you can't use it for software purchase and then training and any, other support activities relevant to that software purchase? Is that what-
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how the bond was structured.
And for example, like on Securely, if there was a conversation about getting parents access to parental Securely on their phones, as a matter of course, is that something that would cost money and that could be covered under this bond?
Yes, it could, because it would be part of the software purchase, as long as that was the decision that was
Yep.
made. Yeah.
Thanks.
Mhm. Any other questions? These are great questions, by the way. I'm happy to continue the conversation, so. All right, I'll hand things over to Director Anderson.
Okay, actually, this kind of concludes the meeting. We're actually to the point now where we talk about scheduling future meetings.
John, we
So
also
we-
got the minutes.
Yes,
We want
yeah.
to go back and
Oh,
Review.
approve those.
were you able to get a hold of them?
Yep, the email came through while we were. on
Okay.